Traitors, Conmen, and sellouts. Perhaps you can go ahead now and tell us who those were, because you are now required to substantiate. Honorable Nyoro.
Mr. Speaker, when we came here last Thursday, we were voting on the BBI bill. And Mr. Speaker, there are many parameters on which members considered when they were voting. Number one, there are those like us, and many even who voted for yes or no, who voted through their conscience. Mr. Speaker, there are others that I have evidence who voted through their stomachs. Mr. Speaker, others voted on the basis of intimidation. And others, Mr. Speaker, voted by the direction of...
Honorable Nyoro, now you are making things even worse. I thought people were just using their mouths. These are not reptiles. How could they vote using their stomachs? I mean, surely, Honorable Ndidi, these are not reptiles. How would they vote using their stomachs? Honorable Ndidi, just substantiate who... Just
Mr.
explain
Speaker,
that bit so that
Mr. Speaker,
we can be through with this.
Mr. Speaker, the people I referred to as cowards and traitors and sellouts are the people who departed from their conscience that day and voted through their stomach, and also those who voted by the direction of their party leaders, Mr. Speaker, and also the others who actually brought fear and voted on the basis of intimidation. Mr. Speaker, as I was saying before I was rudely interrupted, our country rests on three premises. Number one is a strong state.
There's a point of order from the member for Waraka.
You know, Mr. Speaker, when we came to this house to represent our people, and when we joined this National Assembly to lead this country, our estimation and our reputation is at stake. This member has been asked very specific questions. And we are here, you should know that we are here as jurors, because these proceedings are stand a little, because it is a peerage proceedings in which one of us is misbehaving or is accused of unethical conduct. For him to take the stage to address people of Murang'a, and we give him the airtime, is even exacerbating this issue and putting our reputation at risk. I don't think we should give this member what he is looking for. He wants bonga points, or what is called bonga points, by addressing people of Murang'a. Now, to continue and say that some of us voted by our stomachs is even worse. He said that we are cowards. He said that we are all those things, but now he is saying exactly what Honorable Kuria was accused of saying. He is saying that some people are voting by what we ate, as though what we ate can turn into votes. So he should tell us how he has looked at my intestines and seen what exactly I ate. And Mr. Speaker, to tell us that some people are voting because of party leaders, right? You see, a contemner, Mr. Speaker, respectfully, a contemner, and you know that you have made these decisions before in your life, you know the position of a contemner. For a contemner to come before us and start even making it worse, abusing everybody, including the speaker who must have partaken of that eating of the stomach. So, Mr. Speaker, these are very serious things. That this, and Mr. Speaker, he is even calling himself youthful when I know that he is beyond 35 years of age. Yeah. So, Mr. Speaker, we have not come here. We have not come here we have not come here for lectures. And we have not come here for people to abuse us. If he thinks he wants to abuse us, some of us has more English than him to abuse him. He cannot think that he has the command of language or that Murang'a is any better than Ruaraka. After all, he will pass through Ruaraka as he goes to Murang'a every day. So we cannot accept that. Member for Garissa town must give me time to say what I must say. This is not a small matter to turn into things to do with politics out there. Some of us don't care. So what we care here is our reputation. Our reputation, people think that we are here eating things. Can you show us what are these things we are eating every day that they should... Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now, honourable members, I wanted us to deal with this issue about this, whatever is in your stomachs. I think, this thing, Honourable Nyoro, I imagine that actually you've eaten today, or you'll eat, unless you're on hunger strike. So please, let's not go that route of food, unless you are using it figuratively. Honorable Nyoro,
Mr. Speaker, I don't know why some members have gone on the defensive, because I'm yet to name names, and I'm going there. I'll be naming names, so relax, be patient. We are going to know the traitors, separate them from the sycophants and from the sellouts. So please be patient. If the shoe fits, wear it. If it doesn't fit, don't wear it. Please give me time.
Yes.
Please give me time.
Honorable Duale, what is your point of order? Hold on, there's a point of order.
The Speaker, I want you to guide the House. The Speaker, we are turning the plenary into what the Committee on Powers and Privilege should hear under your chairmanship. Speaker, the whole country is watching us, and we cannot conduct that business of a committee of this House which you chair, Powers and Privilege. Because Honorable Nyoro, the route is taking, saying he's going to name names. So we are moving from one marquee issue to another. Because Mr. Speaker, I have been here. I've been here, and I'm sure Honorable Bandi and Honorable Kimunya will agree with me. In the 10th Parliament, the great lady and then the Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Honorable Mara Karua, I can't remember, I'll go back to the Hansard. That time we were in the chamber of the Senate. She said, this house has been turned into the biggest auction house. Speaker, a number of times members have even called others rent seekers. But you remember, those times the matters were referred to the Powers and Privilege. And some members ended up being invited by EACC. We have just finished in last Parliament dealing with the matter of the mercury and the sugar. And your committee gave recommendation. Mr. Speaker, I think when a member is named, their route is not this route. The route is different. That the member is given an opportunity to appear before the Powers and Privilege Committee. And Mr. Speaker, it's very sad. In the 11th Parliament, we wanted to amend the standing orders and introduce, like the House of Commons, the Standards and Ethics Officer within Parliament. You remember, yes? And we must do it. We must have Standards and Ethics Officer. I remember, Mr. Speaker, you brought it. And we brought it to amend the standing orders. And on that day, if the Hansard will correct me right, I said, you better have your own internal officer. Today, if we had the Standard and Ethics Officer, by now the Speaker could have heard the truth or the lies behind this matter. But Mr. Speaker, I think the earlier the better you give direction to this debate. Because I agree with you, we vote through the electronic. I don't vote, I've never seen people voting through stomach. Because, two, I think Honorable Ndindi has serious privileged information. And he has, if he has that information, he can give it. Because the moment, for example, he mentions the member for Garissa in this plenary, for example, or the member for Limuru, or the member for Suba, it becomes another sensational matter. It affects integrity of members, it affects their families, it affects their constituencies. So, Mr. Speaker, the way the route we are going, and let me say it as a ranking member, Mr. Speaker, I really want to ask you and indulge you that this matter is referred to the Powers and Privilege Committee, and this matter is investigated either by, you can even refer it to the DCI, you can refer to EACC, you can refer to the Powers and Privilege. But Mr. Speaker, I am not very comfortable because naming of a member, and many members have been named before, I never thought it will go to a debate. No, I don't think it will go to debate. And the Speaker, on a very light touch, Mr. Speaker, and with a lot of respect to Honorable Moses Kuria, Moses Kuria has tweeted many bad things about me when I was the leader of majority. He tweeted many bad things about you, Mr. Speaker, in the 11th Parliament. He has even tweeted many about, even I think after this matter happened, he tweeted worse things about the current leader of majority. And you know, there are people who have that freedom of using the social media platform. Some of us, we don't maybe use it. So, Mr. Speaker, give us direction, because if we go this route, that is my advice as a ranking member, if we go this route, we are making the whole House look bad in the eyes of the people of Kenya.
Yeah, Honorable John Bandi.
Mr. Speaker, whereas I may be persuaded to agree with Duale, but I want to disagree, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Makani Mulu stood on a specific point of order, Understanding Order 108, and asked you to name the honorable member for Gatundu South. And in the process, another member requested also to name the Honorable Ndindi Nyoro. I think is the majority whip. So, Mr. Speaker, we are operating Understanding Order 108. So the matter cannot be referred to powers and privileges. Number two, Mr. Speaker, I have no problem with Ndindi Nyoro naming anybody, including John Mbadi, so long as he has evidence. Our rules are very clear. You name and produce evidence. If you don't, you are forced to withdraw, and the matter rests there. It will not be unanswered. So, Mr. Speaker, nobody should fear being named. Honorable Ndindi Nyoro, if he has evidence, Mr. Speaker, should name. In fact, we should encourage him to name, because, Mr. Speaker, this issue of bribery has become a joke in this country, and it must come to an end. Either you have evidence of bribery and we deal with it, or if you don't, then you should not utter those words, because we all have reputation. By the way, Mr. Speaker, when you mentioned that some members, without specifying who, were bribed, then all of us stand indicted. Until now, you name the members. Finally, Mr. Speaker.
But Honorable John Band, even as you do that,
yes,
the Honorable Moses Kuria is holding a band of notes, Kenyan notes. What is that supposed to be?
Speaker.
You see now, this is how you trivialize debate. And this is how you have reduced yourselves to the level now. Why would an honorable member be coming here carrying a wand of notes? Surely. Honorable Moses Kuria, what is this now? You know, Honorable Moses Kuria, you know, you started by saying that I made certain remarks about you. You know, I think, and I still insist, you need to spend a little more time here in the chamber. And please, read through the standing orders that internalize them. What is this you are doing now? This is not a market in Gatundu. I mean, now you are trying, what are you?